Welcome, boys and girls, to the first episode of Economics Flipped. Okay, so today's lesson is about choice. Okay, so we're going to look at individuals' economizing problem. Okay, so we're going to have to look at some characteristics. First, we're going to look at limited income, unlimited wants, and we've talked about the unlimited wants. We're going to have a budget line, which is dependent upon how much money we have. We're going to have unattainable and attainable options. We're going to look at trade-offs and opportunity cost. We're going to make the best choice possible. And we're going to see what happens if there is a change in income. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is we'll bring up our characteristics. So we have this $18 budget. And we have two goods that we can buy with the $18 budget. We have pizza and we have brownies. Pizza costs us $3 a slice, and a brownie costs us $1. Okay, so we have, what happens if we want to spend all our money on pizza? We can spend all our money on pizza and we can get 6 slices. However, we cannot get any brownies. So let's say we wanted a brownie, right? Then we'd have to give up pizza in order to get the brownie. So we could end up getting 18 brownies and no pizza, or some combination other than that, where like say 5 slices of pizza, which would give us 3 brownies. 4 slices of pizza, I can get 6 brownies, okay? So we take that chart and we're going to graph it. Okay, we're going to put brownies on the X. We're going to put pizza on the Y. Right, and this is what the graph looks like. You can see my pizza on the Y-axis, my brownies, right? I have a straight line because every slice of pizza that I give up, I can get 3 brownies, right? So that means it's a constant slope, which is a straight line. So anything inside to the left of the budget line is attainable. I can get 4 slices of pizza, right, which would cost me $12, and 3 slices of pizza would be $15. I would not be maximizing my satisfaction because I'm not spending all of my budget. There's also, what if I wanted 6 slices and 3 brownies? That's unattainable, so that's to the right of the curve. Okay, and the only way we can get to the unattainable portion is if the income, the $18, changes. Okay, so now that's the individual problem. We're going to look at society. So what we have is we want to look at the 4 factors of production. We've talked about these before, but let's go through them. We have land, we have labor, we have capital, and we have entrepreneurial ability, right? The person who takes the initiatives, makes decisions, innovates, and takes risk. He's going to take the land. The land is anything that comes from the earth: water, dirt, coal, oil, right? They're the natural resources. We've called them raw materials before. Then you're going to take the labor, which is going to be the workers. How many people am I going to use? I'm going to employ. Then we have capital, which is the tools or the machinery that go into making a consumer good. So I don't know who the creator of Starbucks is, but this entrepreneur said, wait a minute, what if I take coffee beans, sugar, right, and I get some machines to make the coffee, right, and then I get workers. I'm a barista, we would call them, right? Put that all together and I'm going to make a cup of coffee and I'm going to sell it for a ridiculous amount of money and people are going to buy it, right? So that is what we're looking at with the 4 factors. We need to look at those because we're going to look at what's called a production possibility curve. Okay, the production possibility curve, we need to consider the 4 factors of production. Okay, what you need to know is a production possibility curve is a graphical representation, okay, it's of 2 goods. We're going to look at scarcity, choice, and that each point on the curve is the maximum we can accomplish. Now, any point on the curve is equal to any other point. It just depends on your choice, okay? So what are some assumptions that we are going to make when constructing a production possibility curve? We need to assume full employment. Everybody is working. we're going to assume fixed resources. We can't change the amount of natural resources or any of those things. And our technology is not going to change. So we have a fixed technology. Right? One of the examples I like to do with this is to take it and look at something at our school, right? I want to look at the soccer and field hockey. So we're going to construct the PPC table, and then we're going to graph it. Okay, but first we're going to need to make some basic assumptions and answer some questions. Okay, the assumptions I'm going to make is that the best athlete in one sport is going to be able to play another sport. I'm not saying that that athlete is going to be the best athlete on the other sport. So if I move a field hockey player, the best field hockey player up to soccer, she could hold her own in soccer, but she would not be one of the best players. Okay? We're going to say their skills are somewhat interchangeable, right? You're running around the field kicking a soccer ball. You're running around with a stick in your hand. Not much of a difference. Okay? We're going to take 3 soccer players. We're going to take Emma, Val, and Viv. All right, so I want to look at some assumptions here. Emma scores 40 soccer goals. Vivian scores 20 soccer goals. And then Val scores 8 soccer goals. Couple of questions. What season are soccer and field hockey played in? Both in normal times are played in the fall, which means you must choose. You must make a choice between soccer or field hockey. If you choose soccer, then you're giving up goals that you could score in field hockey, and vice versa, right? So the cost of playing soccer is the time and the goals and the fun that you would get in field hockey with Coach Casey. Right? What's the cost of playing field hockey? Playing field hockey means you can't have fun with Coach Neville on the soccer field. Right? So you have to understand what those costs are when you make the decision. Right? So let's look at this. We have 68 goals is what? So Val scored 8, Viv scored 20, and Emma scored 40 for a total of 68 soccer goals, which means neither of them are playing field hockey. Okay, so we have 68 soccer goals, 0 field hockey. Now, Coach Casey comes to Emma and says, you're part of GVC. Why don't you come and play soccer for me? I think you could be really good. Emma agrees, and she goes over to field hockey. When she moves over, we're moving from point A to point B. We go from 68 goals to 28 goals because Emma was scoring 40 goals for soccer. So it cost 40 soccer goals to go to point B. But in exchange for those 40 soccer goals, we picked up 20 field hockey goals. Okay, which means every field hockey goal costs 2 soccer goals, right? And you could do it the other way, where a soccer goal in this case is costing a half of a field hockey goal. Okay, then next we're going to take Viv and we're going to move her over. Viv goes over because she sees Emma's having so much fun. And we lose 20 goals. We give up 20 goals of soccer when we move from point B to C. And we pick up 5 goals in field hockey, which means the cost of each field hockey goal is getting more expensive. Why? Because the skills aren't as interchangeable as they were as we were moving our best athletes over. So now it's costing us, every field hockey goal just cost 4 soccer goals. So we went from 2 soccer goals to 4 soccer goals. If you go back to the problem we did with the brownies and the pizza, remember every slice of pizza costs 3 brownies. 1 brownie costs a third of a slice of pizza. So it was a constant slope. In this case, we're not having a constant slope. We're having an increasing opportunity cost. And then we move Val over to field hockey, and we're now down to 0 soccer goals. And now we picked up 1 field hockey goal, which means the cost just became 1 field hockey goal cost 8. So as we move from point A to B to C to D, there's an increasing opportunity cost. Okay, so we're going to graph that. Okay, and we'll graph point A. From point A to point B is Emma moving to field hockey. From point B to point C is Viv moving. And from C to D is vowel moving. Okay, we shade in that area. Inside that area shows us every area that is attainable with the resources that we have. Okay, outside of that area is what is called unattainable. Okay, so you see we put the notes in there on the side. The law of increasing opportunity cost makes the production possibility curve concave. Okay, so anything to the left of the PPC curve is attainable. Anything to the right of the curve is unattainable. Right, now we can now take this graph and we can do it with two goods. We can do capital goods on the Y, consumer goods on the X, and as we move from one to the other, we are giving up. So if we move from capital goods to consumer goods, we're giving up capital goods. This is also a famous economic model that we call guns and butter, right? Guns being military spending, butter being social programs. As our current president spends more money on military, he has less money for social programs. The president before him was from a different party. He believed in more social programs. He cut spending on defense, right? There's always going to be a trade-off, and there's the opportunity cost, right? Anytime we're inside our PPC, we are being inefficient. Okay, it might be attainable, but it's inefficient. In a typical production possibility curve, being inside the curve means we have unemployment or we're not using all our resources to their max. Now, the same thing says outside the curve where it's unattainable. We would like more of everything, right? We have unlimited wants, but limited resources. Okay, so that's why you'll see that. Now what we do is we push the curve outwards. That's what was called economic growth. When I can have more military spending and more social programs because we now have more technology, better resources, smarter resources, right? Our workers are now smarter. So economic growth is when we push the PPC curve outwards. Alrighty. All right, so we're going to do some problems in class to kind of emphasize this PPC, and we'll do it with products now instead of soccer and field hockey. All right, see you tomorrow.